My people, there is something very important happening right now in Nigeria. And if you have not heard about it yet, you really need to pay attention because this one touches everybody, whether you work, do business, or even hustle on your own. Please make sure you like this video right now and subscribe so you don't miss what I'm about to explain. Now, let's go straight to it. A former advisor from the World Bank, someone who has worked closely with international economists and policymakers, is telling Nigerians that we should all get ready and support the new 2026 tax reform. This reform is one of the biggest changes Nigeria has planned in recent years, and it's coming with a promise to make the whole tax system simpler, fairer, and better for ordinary people. Sounds good, right? But let's talk about what's really going on, what it means, and why it's getting attention everywhere. So here's the gist. The government of Nigeria has already signed 4 major tax laws. They are called the Nigeria Tax Act, the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, the Nigeria Revenue Service Act, and the Joint Revenue Board Act. These laws are meant to change how taxes are collected and managed across the country, from federal to state and local levels. The big plan is that from January 2026, these laws will officially begin to work. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe because this part is very important to understand. The idea behind all this is that Nigeria's old tax system is too complicated, too confusing, and full of overlapping taxes. Some people pay multiple taxes for the same thing, while others don't even pay at all. So this new reform wants to make it easier. One system that everybody understands, one rule that works for everyone, and one channel for collecting revenue. They say it will make life easier for workers, business owners, and even the government itself. Now, one of the biggest talking points is what will happen to the average Nigerian worker. According to the chairman of the Presidential Tax Reform Committee, from 2026, about 97 to 98% of Nigerians who earn a salary will either pay no income tax at all or pay a much smaller amount. That means if you are a low-income earner, you might not even pay any pay-as-you-earn, payee tax again. That's a big relief for many families, especially at a time when prices are rising and the cost of living is high. Please don't forget to like this video right now and subscribe because this affects you directly. But that's not all. For those who run small businesses, the reform also comes with some good news. If your business earns less than about 100 million naira a year, you won't have to pay company income tax. That's right, 0 company tax for small businesses. The government says they want to encourage more small and medium businesses to grow, to hire more people, and to become part of the formal economy. Because when businesses grow, the country grows too. Now, for the bigger companies, those who earn above that limit, the corporate tax rate will be reduced from 30% to 25%. The idea is to make Nigeria a better place for businesses to operate, to attract investors, and to stop companies from running away to other countries. This reform is not just about collecting more tax. It's about creating an environment where people can actually thrive and the economy can breathe again. Please, if you are finding this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so more people can join the gist. The ex-World Bank advisor explained that this reform is not something to fear. He said Nigerians should see it as a chance to fix a broken system. For years, our tax system has been messy. Too many people avoid paying, some government offices collect tax without accountability, and sometimes even honest people get confused because there are too many rules. But with this reform, everything will be clearer: who should pay, how to pay, and where the money goes. He also said that when the government gets tax collection right, it means more money can go into things that really matter: roads, hospitals, schools, electricity, clean water. Because when a country depends too much on oil, it becomes weak when oil prices fall. But when taxes are fair and well managed, there is always money to build and maintain what people need. Now, of course, not everyone is smiling about this plan. Some people are worried. And honestly, they have reasons. Some fear that although the reform sounds nice on paper, the real issue will be how it's implemented. Will the system really be fair? Will corruption still get in the way? will the government truly use the money for the people? These are real questions. Please like this video now if you think transparency is important too, and make sure you subscribe. Others are worried about timing. They ask, why now? With prices already high, food expensive, fuel costs up, people struggling, will this reform really make life better or harder? Some people fear it might quietly increase other hidden charges, even if income tax looks lower. That's why many citizens are watching closely to see how the government will roll it out. Another concern is whether the states and local governments will agree on how to share revenue fairly. Nigeria is big, and not all states earn the same. Some states rely more on federal allocation than others. So there's a small debate. Will rich states get richer and poor states get left behind? It's a fair concern, and it's something the government will need to balance carefully. Now let's talk about what this means for you personally. If you're an employee, it means you should check how much you earn and understand your tax category. You may soon find out you don't need to pay as much as before. But still, you should make sure your employer handles it properly so that everything is official and you don't get in trouble later. Please like this video right now if you are following the gist. And don't forget to subscribe. If you run a small business, this might be the right time to register your company properly. Because if you're in the informal sector, that means your business is not officially registered. You might miss out on these benefits. The government is trying to encourage people to formalize their businesses so that they can access loans, support and tax relief that could actually help you grow faster than before. If you are into digital business or you work with international companies, there's something new too. The new tax law now includes rules for digital and online businesses. So even if your company is based abroad but makes money from Nigeria, it may have to pay taxes here too. That means digital creators, tech startups, and even big global companies like streaming services and online platforms will now be properly taxed for the business they do here. That's another way the government plans to raise fair revenue without overburdening ordinary people. But everything comes down to one thing: trust. Will people trust the system? Because no matter how beautiful a policy looks, if people don't believe the government will use the money properly, they will not support it. And that's what this ex-World Bank advisor is trying to tell Nigerians, that we should give this reform a chance, but also keep watching and asking questions. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep talking about important issues like this. Now, I personally think this reform could actually be a big turning point for Nigeria if the promises are kept. It could mean less stress for workers, more encouragement for small businesses, and a more modern tax system that fits our new digital world. But it needs to be done right, fair, transparent, and corruption-free. Because at the end of the day, if the system fails ordinary people again, it will lose meaning. So, what do you think about it? Do you believe this reform will really help Nigeria? Do you trust the system to be fair? Or do you think it's just another promise? I want to hear from you in the comments. Your thoughts matter because this affects all of us. Please, if you haven't yet, like this video now, subscribe, and share it so that more Nigerians can understand what's coming in 2026. Now, one of the biggest questions Nigerians are asking is this: if they say the reform will help the poor, why do we still see prices going up every day? That's a good question. And the answer is not simple. Let's be honest, Nigeria has been facing serious inflation for a long time. Everything, food, transport, rent, school fees, has gone up. So, even though the new tax system promises to reduce the pressure on low-income earners, people are scared that companies might still increase prices to cover their own costs. For example, if a big company pays a little less tax but the cost of production is still high, maybe because of fuel, electricity, or import charges, they might still pass those costs to the customer. So even if your personal tax goes down, you might not immediately feel the benefits when you go to the market. That's why experts are saying this reform will take time before Nigerians can feel it fully. But if managed well, it could help stabilize things later on. Please, if you are following, like this video now and subscribe so you don't miss future updates on this topic. Another thing this reform is expected to bring is fairness. Right now, many ordinary Nigerians pay their taxes faithfully, while some big people or companies find ways to avoid paying. This reform is supposed to fix that. The government says there will be stronger monitoring and everyone will have to play by the same rules. If that really happens, it will make the system fairer. Because it's not fair for a small business owner to pay tax while a big business escapes it. Now let's talk about jobs. When a country's tax laws are too harsh, many companies run away. But if the system is fair and simple, investors will come in, new companies will open, and more people will get jobs. That's one of the goals of this 2026 reform, to make Nigeria a place where doing business is easier. Remember, when businesses grow, they hire people, and that's how unemployment reduces. Please hit that like button and subscribe right now because this part affects everyone who wants better job opportunities. One part I find really interesting is that the reform also focuses on digital and online businesses. In this modern age, a lot of people earn from online platforms like content creation, digital marketing, freelance work, and e-commerce. But before now, many of those earnings were not properly taxed because the old laws didn't recognize digital income clearly. The new reform plans to include that so that the tax system matches how people actually make money today. It's like bringing the law up to date with reality. Now, some people are asking, will this mean online workers and content creators will pay more? Not necessarily. The goal is not to make people suffer. It's to make things fair and transparent. If everyone contributes a little in a fair way, the country can grow without overloading a few people. And with the new system, digital earners will also have more access to government support and programs in the future. Please make sure you like this video now and subscribe because many Nigerians online need to understand this part clearly. Let's also talk about something very real. Trust. Many Nigerians are tired of promises. Over the years, we've heard about reforms and big plans, but most people never see the results. So even though the new 2026 tax reform sounds good, people are asking, will the money really be used for development? Will we see better roads, hospitals, and schools? Those questions are valid because at the end of the day, the success of any tax system depends on what the government does with the money. If people start seeing real change, better infrastructure, working hospitals, steady power, then they will happily support paying fair taxes. But if people see no difference, they will lose trust again. So this is a two-way street. The people must cooperate and the government must be transparent and honest. Please like this video right now if you believe that government accountability is important, and don't forget to subscribe. Another thing this ex-World Bank advisor pointed out is that tax reform is not just about paying more money. It's about how a country manages what it already has. Nigeria's problem is not always lack of money. It's often mismanagement and poor coordination. Too many agencies doing the same work, too many loopholes where money disappears. This reform tries to close those loopholes and make the system cleaner. Imagine if taxes collected in your state were properly used. Good schools, clean hospitals, working lights, better roads. That's the dream behind this policy. But it only works if all sides cooperate, the government, the people, and the private sector. So yes, it's not just about paying tax, it's about building a system that works for everybody. Now, some states are worried that the new rules might favor richer states over poorer ones. Because when you unify tax collection, you also change how the money is shared. So states that don't generate much revenue fear they might get less. This is something the federal government needs to manage carefully so that no part of Nigeria feels left behind. Please like this video right now and subscribe if you agree that fairness between all states is important for unity. Let me tell you something that experts keep repeating. If this reform works, Nigeria's economy can start to heal. It won't happen overnight, but over time, it can bring balance. It can attract investors, create jobs, and even help reduce borrowing. Because right now, Nigeria depends too much on borrowing to fund projects. But when more tax is collected properly and used wisely, the country won't need to borrow as much. That's how strong nations grow, through discipline and proper planning. Now I want you to think about this. Every time you pay your tax or contribute something to the system, you're not just giving money away, you're helping to build your country. The problem has always been that people don't see the result. That's why we must all demand accountability. We must keep asking questions. Where is the money going? What projects are being done? Because when people are watching, leaders are forced to do better. This ex-World Bank advisor is not saying everything will be perfect. He's simply saying, let's give it a chance, let's understand the details, and let's not reject it out of fear, because if the system works, it will help both the government and the people. But if it fails, we all lose. Please, if you are still with me, like this video right now and subscribe so we can keep discussing real issues that matter to Nigeria's future. Now, I know you might be asking, when exactly will people start seeing changes from this reform? According to the plan, it's supposed to officially start in January 2026. But the impact may start showing gradually from mid-2026 or even 2027, depending on how fast the government rolls it out. That's why now is the time to learn, prepare, and understand your rights and responsibilities under the new tax system.